So hello and welcome back to this second day of our Redux of the OuiShare Fest. Today we moved a bit further outside of the conference because there is a conference there is a lot of sun, there is a lot of noise, a lot of people. So it's very difficult to find a place where you can speak and have not too much background noise. We want to share the experience that we had yesterday, which was, in my impression, the first day that we had real interaction. So our first day I would say was a day of observation. We looked at how things folded out. And yesterday we started the day quite early because the conference has only started at 2 p.m. but we started at noon with the first conference on the platforms, the cooperative platforms, which is exactly what we are working on. And so it was a very interesting workshop because it was very informal. All people there were talking about that subject and had been working on specific projects in that subject for a long time. So I think that was quite interesting.
It was also good indeed to know that there are real platforms alive at the moment. There's a lot of research to do. This is going. There's also a lot of platforms alive. We also saw that for the new platforms that want to start, is that they always have issues on finding the good funds. And we see that there's a real challenge over there to help each other to see how the platforms can be funded. And we also that was our lesson to them, that you should not be afraid of going to banks or VCs to ask for funds, as long as you are specific and very clear on what you want to have and for which you want to use it. Correct?
Yes, I think we emphasize the fact that that translation between these two worlds that don't really communicate, when the traditional finance world and the cooperative world should be actually fostered in the future, and we need people that can translate from one world to the other. It is quite important because lack of funding seems to me like the first reason why a lot of these cooperative platforms fail actually. And so you see that the ones, on the contrary, the ones that succeed are the ones that manage to crack the funding issue in a way or another. But so basically it's about being funded and therefore being sustainable before adhering even to the right principles.
And if you are in a collaborative economy or platforms, you are faced with all the difficulties that other startups have also. Yeah. So it's good that you can start with crowdfunding. We saw a lot of projects that start with crowdfunding, but every startup needs to scale at a certain point of time, and if you want to scale, you cannot have that through funding of crowdfunding.
Yes.
You have to go to the other larger funds to help you out. And sometimes I see that the water is still deep for some of the players to make that pass and reach the other side of the canal. We are alongside the canal, as a matter of speech. Another takeaway yesterday from all the different discussions we had for me was that next to reputation and valuation, I saw there's a lot of value in governance. I see a lot of platforms struggle with governance.
How to get decisions made.
So it's good that also, as from the start of a platform, you think about governance and you don't start thinking about governance if you have issues.
Yes, true. Yes, yeah, it's true. And again, there we discovered that we have still a lot to do in order to explain how blockchain can be used to solve these issues, because there are still a lot of problems in terms of awareness. Yesterday there was a very there was a session called like APIs, and it was very APIs for dummies or APIs 101. But it was I think that there were a lot of people there, and a lot of people that were interested. So what I think is that maybe a session of blockchain 101, which is blockchain is not Bitcoin, blockchain can solve a lot of other issues, maybe should be needed for people to clearly understand, because we see that in our dialogue with people, still there is a lot of issues with awareness, with understanding exactly what blockchain is beyond Bitcoin.
Maybe also a message to the organizers for next year is that invite partners that are not part of the collaborative platform community, because here when we learned a lot the last 2 days, and how it works and where the new things, how the government can help, but you have to work together, and you see that they have a lot of problems, but maybe problems can be solved if you invite people of outside of the community, and that's maybe for next year have more other partners to the collaborative economy together.
To add diversity and point of views on the same problems, and actually that could lead us from documenting the issues, which is what we did yesterday, to actually getting to solutions, which is what's a bit missing and what we have as a feeling. Now there were a lot of other sessions. We couldn't go to all of them, but we went to. There was a quite interesting session on what is the next Silicon Valley, which was quite interesting because showing what makes the success of Silicon Valley, and some people there pointed out rightly that we should not try to necessarily mimic what's happening in Silicon Valley. We have our European values, and that we have different ways of working, and that they can also be successful. But it goes again to the issue of funding, of course, because funding and talent have been documented as being things that work quite well in Silicon Valley. So why can't it work here as well?
Yeah. So it's the last day today.
Yeah.
At OuiShare Fest, and so my personal mission objective is to see if we can really reach out to the platforms and find pilots that we can work together and test our APIs, what we thought, what we have in mind, to see if it's really that's what is needed. So let's take that as a challenge for today.
Yeah, we've seen actually some quite interesting sessions yesterday about the one session about precisely exploiting blockchain that was by Carrefour, I think.
Yeah.
So there are some, but it's large corporates with good funding that do some experiments with blockchain. So actually, I think that our challenge for today is to try to go to smaller organizations and explain to them that the initial cost to start this kind of blockchain experiments is not going to be that high. And so that's going to be, today is going to be a shorter day. We have to travel back, but and unfortunately we're going to miss the closing part.
But still we will have fun today.
But
I'm sure.
I think we'll still have fun. So
See you.
see you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.